Barcola, worth it, Craig. Haven't watched much of him. So it's a weird one on Bradley Barcola. For me, because if you look at his numbers, and if I just pulled up his goals and assists for you, you probably say he's worth it. But if you watch him, I have to say, and I stand over, I don't think he's clinical enough. I don't think he's got enough end product. I know, again, you can pull up his numbers and say to me, Craig, he's got X amount of goals and assists. But when I watch him, and albeit I would say maybe I watched them 10 times last season at most, I always found myself frustrated with the chances he was able to get into the right positions for, but wasted a lot of them. I would prefer others than him. But I'm sure there are people in the chat who absolutely disagree and think Barcola will be incredible, and I respect that opinion as well. Linked with Barcola, but for me, Doué is better. Oh, he is better, but there's just no hope of getting Doué out, mate. He is absolute superstar of a player, and there's just no hope of getting him out of Paris Saint-Germain. And I understand that entirely from his perspective and from their perspective. Triller X said, do you think Bradley Barcola is ready for the Premier League? Maybe, but I just don't think he's the right fit for us. Because remember, we get wound up sometimes with the lack of end product from Diaz, right? That's been one thing there's been some complaints about from Liverpool fans. We all love his work rate and effort. If we feel that way about him, I think we'll feel the similar way about Barcola, because, you know, for all his goals and assists, when I watch him, he certainly seems to leave a lot of opportunities on the table. Barcola, for me, the new Henry. I just think he's wasteful. I do. I just think he's really wasteful. But there's no denying he's got electric feet and he can create chances. No denying that whatsoever. I just, again, wonder will we have enough end product if he was to come in. But, again, got to reiterate, Paris Saint-Germain saying they're not selling him as well. So, a couple of reports about Barcola. Let me read them out to you. So this piece here said, Bradley Barcola's stock continues to rise across Europe, but Paris Saint-Germain have made their position clear. The French international is going nowhere this summer. Foot Mercado say Barcola is attracting interest from Bayern Munich and Liverpool, both clubs looking at the 22-year-old as a potential first-choice option for their attack. Another piece here said, Liverpool plot big move for PSG star Bradley Barcola in summer rebuild. Liverpool's appetite for a transformative summer under Arne Slot, I don't know who the fuck Arne is, Arne Slot, shows no sign of slowing down. As reported by Caught Offside, the Reds are now seriously considering a move for the PSG player, one of Ligue 1 most exciting talents. 17 goals and 14 assists across all competitions in 24-25. Yeah, look, it's reported, but if PSG are saying they ain't selling, then I would imagine they ain't selling. We know that they're not going to be a club that's waiting for the money, let's say. So the question is Barcola the right Diaz replacement? For me, like I've said before, I feel we'll revisit Anthony Gordon if we do sell Luis Diaz. I know that isn't what a lot of people want to hear, but I just have a feeling we're going to revisit that situation. And also, if we're going to see Nico Williams move this summer, I think we'd be fools not to be at least inquiring as to the numbers involved in the deal. Rather have Cherry Cola. No, mate, no. Cherry Cola's horrible. I don't know how anyone drinks that stuff. Horrendous. I'd take Nico Williams, but Gordon is more realistic, said Yusuf. I think Gordon gives us the homegrown, quota help there that we'd need. We know the player would absolutely love to come and play for Liverpool. We know Liverpool like him because we tried to do a deal to bring him in last summer. So I think with that, take into account the fact that Harvey Barnes seemingly getting more starts towards the end of the season for Newcastle, I just think it's a possible deal if Diaz does move on. But genuinely, I feel Liverpool are relaxed about the situation with Luis Diaz because it's kind of a win-win for us. We've got a player who we know can perform well, who's on a reasonable wage, who still has 2 years left on his contract, at which time he'll be 31. So I totally can understand Liverpool saying, well, we either get the money that we want to make it worth our while, or he stays and sees out his deal. So I'm relaxed about it as well. I would like Diaz to stay. I love Diaz. I think most of us do. But if Barcelona come up with the money, then we do need to look at other avenues and other options for that left side. Would you rather have Gordon or Barcola? I think Barcola has the possibility to be a better footballer than Anthony Gordon. A lot of the things that lean me towards liking the idea of us bringing in Anthony Gordon is the homegrown aspect, and I will admit that him being a Liverpool fan does carry a bit of weight with me as well. But Barcola, I think if you're saying which one of them could become the better player, I think I'd be I'd probably go with Barcola. But I think for us, the more likely signing, certainly more likely signing, is Anthony Gordon.